Hello and welcome to Hitbullseye. My name is Manish, and in this video we will be discussing the most important events from India and abroad in the second week of October. In case you are visiting this channel for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that whatever videos we post every week, you get notifications for all of them. Let us take a look at the important events for the second week of October. Fourth Vande Bharat Express has been flagged by the Prime Minister. We will see the importance of Vande Bharat trains, or last week ही third Vande Bharat train launch की गई थी. So we will see why this frenetic pace of launching Vande Bharat trains is there. In an unfortunate news, Indian athlete Harmanpreet Kaur has been banned for 3 years from international sporting events. We will see why that has happened. Mr. Abdul Latif Rasheed has become the new president of Iraq. The country is facing some sort of a crisis, and we will see what are the implications of Mr. Rasheed becoming the president of Iraq. The Global Hunger Index 2022 has been launched, and India's position has deteriorated even further. The Nobel Prizes 2022, which we had discussed for physics, chemistry, medicine and physics, chemistry, medicine and literature the last time. This time we are going to discuss the Nobel Prizes for economics and peace. Then Mr. Pankaj Advani, the world famous billiards champion, has won yet another world championship, making India proud. Smriti Mandana, the women cricketer from India, has been appointed as a brand ambassador of a particular company. We will see which company. The Education 4.0 report has been released by the World Economic Forum, in which there are certain important findings about India. We will see what those findings are. The Cristiano Ronaldo. So anyone who watches football would know Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Of course, these are the most important, most famous football players in the world. So Cristiano Ronaldo ने एक world record create किया है. We will see what that world record is. The statue of Lok Nayak Jaiprakash Narayan has been unveiled by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. So let's take a look at all these news for this week. Fourth Vande Bharat train has been launched by Prime Minister Modi. So this is the Vande Bharat train. Previously it was called Train 18. तो पहले इंडिया इसे फ्रेंच गवर्नमेंट के साथ कोलैबोरेशन में बनाता था, पर अब मेक इन इंडिया स्कीम के अंडर हम इसे पूरी तरह से इंडिया में ही बनाते हैं, और ये फोर्थ ट्रेन है जो लॉन्च की गई है. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द वंदे भारत ट्रेन्स विच आर द पोस्टर बॉय ऑफ मेक इन इंडिया स्कीम इन इंडिया, एंड इट इज it signifies the ambition of India's Gati Shakti scheme, in which infrastructure development as well as the speed of transportation and communication we are seeking to increase, whether it is by launching 5G services, whether it is by launching trains like Vande Bharat. Although it's a semi-high-speed train, its speed ranges between 150 and 200 kilometers per hour. It's not a high-speed train, but still, given the conditions in which Indian Railway has been into, it is still an ambition, and government aims to run 75 such trains in the next 1 year and 400 such trains in the next 3 to 4 years. सबसे पहली वंदे भारत ट्रेन जो इंडिया में चल रही थी, that was from New Delhi to Varanasi. One of the reasons that Varanasi is the Uttar Pradesh is the most populated state of India, and Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and also because Varanasi is our Prime Minister's Lok Sabha constituency. So that it could be one of the reasons. Second is Delhi's connectivity with Kashmir, hence Delhi to Katra, which is the last possible station before the Katra Banihal section becomes operational and the entire Kashmir Valley gets connected. Third was launched last week between Ahmedabad and Mumbai, and fourth has been launched between Amb Andora in Himachal Pradesh with Delhi. So Delhi, Chandigarh, Una, Amb Andora. This is the new section that has been inaugurated, and one of the reasons that is cited by the opposition parties is perhaps because Himachal Pradesh assembly elections are coming next month. So this is the fourth in the series of trains, and many more such Vandebar trains are going to be inaugurated and launched by the Prime Minister because of the 75 trains to be launched in the next 1 year. And also Triple IT Una was also announced on this particular visit. So many projects were given to Himachal Pradesh on this visit of the Prime Minister. Moving ahead, Harmanpreet Kaur. This is an unfortunate news we are going to discuss this time, because last week also we discussed the news in which an Indian sportsperson was banned for 3 years. It was Shivpal Singh, the javelin thrower. This time it is Harmanpreet Kaur. She is a discus thrower, world level discus thrower, but she has been banned for doping. This decision has been taken by the Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, and she was suspended because she was tested positive for the banned substance stanozolol, which is an anabolic steroid that is on the list of banned substances by the World Athletics. तो वर्ल्ड एंटी डोपिंग एजेंसी जो है, इन्होंने इनके सैंपल्स चेक किए, वाडा के जो हेडक्वार्टर्स हैं, दैट इज इन लॉसेन, स्विट्जरलैंड, एंड दे found the banned substance in her blood. And that is why she has been banned for 3 years. यानी कि अगले 3 साल तक शिवपाल सिंह in javelin throw and Harmanpreet Kaur in discus throw will not be able to participate in any national or international event. Next, Mr. Abdul Latif Rasheed. So Mr. Abdul Latif Rasheed has been elected as the next president of Iraq. So Iraqi parliament has chosen this Kurdish politician. So he is a Kurd. It matters a lot in Iraq. So there are 3 basic ethnicities that are there in Iraq. One is a Kurds, then Shias and Sunnis. So they make sure that their representation in different fields of the government and of the state is equitable. For example, a Kurd is elected as a president. A Kurd is always the president of the country. A Shia is always the prime minister, and a Sunni heads the parliament. This is the kind of arrangement that they have, and perhaps that is the reason why we have seen the least number of ethnic conflicts in Iraq, because they have this sort of arrangement, which might look odd at the outset, but actually it calms the tempers, because from all the major ethnicities of the of the country, people are represented at the highest positions, right? So that is a thing that you should have known. Next is Global Hunger Index 2022. Now this is not a good news for India either, because this index has further deteriorated, or you can say further marginalized India's position on the hunger you can say hunger front. And this is a report that has not been taken well by the government of India. Government of India is saying that we have done a lot in the last couple of years, especially since the COVID-19 hit us, for eliminating hunger. The government launched a scheme called Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, under which, in addition to the food entitlements under the National Food Security Act 2013, certain other food grains like 5 kg of extra food grains were given to all the people, approximately 80 crore people in India, totally free of cost. And this scheme was launched in March 2020 when the first lockdown was imposed, and it was extended for 6 months subsequently. Every 6 months it was extended, and it has been going on till now, after more than 2.5 years. And the government refuses to believe that despite having, despite distributing millions of tons of food grains free of cost, how can India's hunger index rise? And the government has raised questions on the methodology for collecting data for this particular index, because India's population is huge. It's 1.4 billion people. So the methodology, the sample size, and the procedure adopted by those who make the index is questioned by the government. In fact, India's score is so bad, it has ranked 107 out of 121 countries. 107 out of 121, which is a dismal rank. And we have fared worse than all the countries in South Asia except Afghanistan. Like even Pakistan's rank is better than us, even Sri Lanka, which is under such a economic crisis, and we are sending food grains to them. Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, all these countries are better than us in the hunger index. So government of India refuses to believe that, especially because we are a food surplus country. So how can we be, having such a dismal position on the hunger index? So this is something the government of India has not taken well. Next, the Nobel Prizes. So we had already discussed the physics, chemistry, medicine and literature Nobels last week. They were given away in the first week of October. In the second week, the two remaining prizes of Nobel, that is in the economic sciences and in peace, have been given away. So if we look at the prize in economic sciences or in economics, first of all, this is a prize that was not there as originally envisaged by Alfred Nobel. There were 5 prizes in total: physics, chemistry, medicine, peace and literature. Perhaps economics was not a very important subject back then in the 1800s, in the 1890s, but in the 1900s, 1930s, 40s, 50s, economics gained prominence as an important subject at the global level. And as a result, in 1968, this prize was introduced by the committee. And in 1969, the award was given away for the first time. So it is also called the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in the memory of Alfred Nobel. And this year it has been given to 3 people: Ben Bernanke, Douglas Diamond and Philip Dybvig. Why this award has been given? For research on banks and financial crisis. These 3 people have written papers, research papers, and their findings have established a link between the bank failures and the economic crisis. So the financial crisis and banks, how they are interrelated, how one impacts the other. They have detailed, explained all that in detail, and how banks play a role in averting a financial crisis, that also they have detailed. And for this particular contribution, they have been awarded the Nobel Economics Prize for this year. Also, the most important, I think, and the most controversial award of the year is always the Nobel Peace Prize. Always it has to be the Nobel Peace Prize. And this year too, of course, it was controversial. First winner is Alice Bialyatsky. Alice Bialyatsky has been, protesting and agitating against the tyrannical rule of the Belarusian ruler. So he's in Belarus and he's currently lodged in jail. Right? So he has been demanding freedom of expression. He has been criticizing the government and the ruler of Belarus, but he has been put behind the bars and he has been given this award for fighting for the freedom and democracy for the people. Also, as we know that the Russia-Ukraine crisis is going on for the last 9 months now, and there are civil society organizations and NGOs in both the countries that are working day and night to reduce the negative impact of the war and to give better life to the people, to rehabilitate the people. And for that reason, 2 NGOs, one from Russia, which is Memorial, and second from Ukraine, that is the Center for Civil Liberties. These 2 have been chosen for their untiring work to reverse the losses or humanitarian losses caused by the Russia-Ukraine war. So the Peace Prize laureates represent civil society in their home countries, Belarus, Russia and Ukraine. They have for many years promoted the right to criticize power, so right to criticize, and protect the fundamental rights of citizens. They have made an outstanding effort to document war crimes, human rights abuses and the abuse of power. Together they demonstrate the significance of civil society for peace and democracy. So all these are civil society organizations. They have been documenting whatever human rights abuses the Russian forces have done in Ukraine territory. So that is why they have been given the prize. As I said, it's always very controversial. Next, let's get on to sports. Mr. Pankaj Advani, So he is the world championship. He's a world champion in one of the lesser known and lesser followed sports in India, that is billiards, and he has won the 5th World Billiards Championship just recently. So he has won the World Billiards Championship 5 times. He's like the Vishwanathan Anand of billiards. So just the way Vishwanathan Anand won 5 world titles in chess, he has won these in billiards. Right, so this championship happened in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and last time he had won the 4th title in Qatar last year. Another sports person in news is Smriti Mandana. So apart from her huge fan following, she has also certain celebrity endorsements, and this time she has become the brand ambassador of Gulf Oil India. She has become the brand ambassador of lubricant manufacturer Gulf Oil India. Earlier, its ambassadors include Hardik Pandya and former Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni. But now they have also roped in a female cricketer to celebrate women power. So it seems that they always hire cricketers, and that too, sports persons, cricketers, so as to show that, our fuel is like that, faster, sharper, stronger, because sports person, depicts all those qualities. And that is why maybe they are hiring all the sports persons to, for their oil business. Next is the Education 4.0 report. ये रिपोर्ट रिलीज़ की है वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम ने, जो कि एक इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, और इस रिपोर्ट में बेसिकली ये कहा गया है हाउ टेक्नोलॉजी कैन एड्रेस लर्निंग गैप्स। कोविड-19 के दौरान, लॉकडाउन के दौरान हमने देखा कि कैसे डिजिटल गैप्स हैं, डिजिटल हैव्स एंड डिजिटल हैव नॉट्स में पूरी दुनिया बटी हुई है, एंड दैट इज़ बेसिकली द गैप बिटवीन द इकोनॉमिकली well-off people and the economically poor people. To bridge that gap, we have tried to do so many things. और Education 4.0 रिपोर्ट में कहा गया है कि अगर एजुकेशन सबके लिए एक्सेसिबल बनानी है तो डिजिटल गैप हमें ब्रिज करना पड़ेगा, देन वी कैन अचीव अ लॉट मोर। जैसे कि इंडिया में भी बहुत सारी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट जो हैं उन्होंने स्मार्टफोन्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए स्टूडेंट्स को, लैपटॉप्स या टैब्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए, सो एज टू ब्रिज दैट गैप। क्योंकि इंडिया में ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, इंडिया में 20 से 25% पॉपुलेशन जो है वो बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन है. हाउ कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट दोज पीपल टू हैव मल्टीपल डिजिटल डिवाइसेस एट देयर होम? So if there is a poor family living in a village whose schools are providing online education, but in a family there are say 5 or 6 people and there is only one device, how can you expect all of them to have, to attend the classes, to make notes and to be updated online? That is not possible. We might say that internet is affordable, that is okay, but devices are not. So for that, various state governments started various schemes also, and this is what needs to be done. This is what Education 4.0 report has said. और इसका ये भी कहना है कि चाहे कोविड-19 पैंडेमिक जो है वो सबसाइड कर गया है, लेकिन अभी भी 100% ट्रांजिशन बैक नहीं हुआ है. स्कूल से लेके वर्क ट्रांजिशन प्रोसेस अभी भी हो रहा है. India is the second largest market for online education after USA, and this potential needs to be tapped. इंडिया में 6 करोड़ ऐसे बच्चे हैं जो सेकेंडरी या हायर सेकेंडरी स्टूडेंट्स हैं, यानी कि 9th क्लास से लेकर 12th क्लास तक जो बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, दे आर 6 करोड़ स्टूडेंट्स, एंड हियर वी नीड टू पुट इन एन एफर्ट सो एज टू ब्रिज द लर्निंग गैप, so that when they go for higher education they do not drop out. They basically this is a point where most of the students leave their studies. It's like they have completed 8th or 9th standard, so now the parents think that okay, it is fine, now they can work at home or something like that, in rural areas, in poor backgrounds. But this is the point where they need to be sustained, where the learning gaps have to be filled so that they go on to become higher, in higher professions and for higher types of jobs. Cristiano Ronaldo. So any football fans out there would know this photograph in a click. So Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most well-known and famous footballers in the world, and rightly so, because he has created a world record. He has scored his 700th club goal. 700th club goal. He has become the first one in the history to do so. He is a Portuguese, and he has become the first and only player in this present generation to score 700 goals in a club event. Lionel Messi, the second most famous player in the world, is just a few goals behind with 691 goals. And also the world's most famous award for a footballer, that is the Ballon d'Or prize. He has won it 5 times. So Cristiano Ronaldo has a lot of feathers up his cap, and now there's another one, that is 700 goals in the club matches. Then the statue of Lok Nayak Jaiprakash Narayan has been unveiled by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. So Jaiprakash Narayan, so to those who know the post-independence history of India, there was a time in India when internal emergency was imposed at the national level by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in 1975, and it went on till 1977. For approximately 2 years the national emergency was imposed. And Mr. Jaiprakash Narayan was a Gandhian. He had fought for the freedom of India also in the 1930s and 1940s, and later on he became a Gandhian, a socialite, and he was also a theorist and a political leader. So in 1975, when Indira Gandhi imposed national emergency, the entire opposition got together, and it got together under the leadership of Jaiprakash Narayan. So he was like the Anna Hazare of that time, basically. So all the people rallied around him, and the movement was famously called the JP movement, that is the Jaiprakash movement. So he led the movement successfully, and at the end of the movement the emergency was revocated, and the elections were conducted, and Indira Gandhi lost the elections, the opposition won the elections, and Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister in 1977. So his movement was actually a success. और 1999 में इन्हें भारत रत्न भी दिया गया था posthumously. So after death he was awarded the Bharat Ratna in 1999. He was born in 1902 in Bihar, और जहाँ पर ये पैदा हुए थे इनके होम टाउन में ही, वहीं पे इनका स्टैचू जो है अब लगाया गया है in Sitab Darya in Saran district of Bihar. So this is the news. His statue has been installed in his hometown in Bihar, and he is a prominent name amongst the post-independence politicians of India. Right, so that is all that we had to discuss in this week's video. If you found the video to be useful, please give it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends so that they can also benefit from the same. Also, if you have any suggestions for us, please do comment in the suggestion box so that we can take that into consideration and try to be better with each episode. Thank you so much. This is me, Manish Mittal, signing off. Take care.